Troy Lamson. Hey, Troy, how's it going?
Hey, man, sorry about them technical difficulties. You know
Hey.
how it goes sometimes,
Hey,
man.
don't worry about it. Facebook changed it up on me, too, so don't worry about it. Of course, you're taking on Joe Elmore here at WXC 73 Relentless. Everyone knows that. But before I get to that, though, I got to talk about your last fight here against Dustin Parrish. You took obviously, he was a tough wrestler, much like yourself, but you were able to take him down. You were able to hold him there. You landed some really nice elbows on the inside. Was that the game plan to really kind of stay inside the guard and wear him out that way, or was there some other things you were trying to look to do in that fight?
There was definitely some other things that I was looking to do, but like I said, I took that fight 10 pounds. Obviously, I'm not a welterweight anymore. I used to fight at welterweight. I used to fight at 85, which was a joke to me. But yeah, I definitely felt the bigger man. I'm not gonna lie. As he just took on Willis Black and was getting the better of him for 2 rounds before Willis hit him with that, some shot that I wouldn't want to take. But it's definitely, you can feel it, man. It's a big jump. 10 pounds, 15 pounds as a grown man is huge. And I got in there and I was like, man, I want to dip and dodge and throw and kick. And then I was like, damn, he's actually a lot bigger than I thought. And I usually have a decent height advantage.
Right.
And this dude was damn near looking me in my eye and was, looked like he came straight off the bench press. And I was like, hey, I was like, you know what? I was like, that brown belt, I'm going to test that. And it had nothing for me. So, but yeah, definitely wasn't my exact plan to do that. But, I mean, that's something that I don't think even in the top 10 in the UFC can stop. My ground game is world class. And when I say world class, I mean that because I have confidence in it. And that's what I do. I could sit in anyone's guard and punish Tito Ortiz style to anyone.
Do you think that style of fight that you did, do you think not too many guys can do that anymore? I think it's so hard to hold people in the guard and land out quality damage. I think that's very impressive what you did.
I think that there's people that can definitely hold people down, but it's the quality damage that people cannot do. Nowadays, you're not sitting in nobody's guard for 10 minutes without getting stood up unless you're doing damage. And that's what I do. I have a very technical way that I split up the strikes in my mind, and I have it's my posture and it's my length. People don't understand that I have a 75-inch reach and I'm a 155-pounder. So when I elbow somebody, it's damn near a punch. Right. So I can sit back on my hips in a guard and elbow you in the face and not even have to overextend, not be put at risk. And that's what really people don't understand. And that's what takes me to the next level.
Of course, you took a fight after that. You took on Reggie Merriweather. You were able to get past him with a rear naked choke back in May. Talk a little bit about that fight and obviously the win that you had over him a few weeks ago.
Yeah, it was my my first belt that I won as a professional. I went down to Ohio and I took the New League Fights lightweight championship belt. And basically in that fight, it was somebody that's going to go into the center of the cage that I knew skill set was not on my level, but was just going to try and make it a grimy / just looking for the haymaker shot. And what did I do? I took it away. I don't even think, to be honest, if there was a punch card in that thing, I honestly do not think that I took one punch. I don't think I took one punch, which I can say is a lot different than the Dustin Parrish fight. I tip the hat to that. As you can see, my modeling career was being put on a little hold till I can afford some really nice scar cream. Thanks, Dustin. But everything comes and it goes. But it was definitely nice to get out of state. All I gotta say is watch out for fighting in Ohio because them double weigh-ins, the weighing in the day of the fight, man, that's some serious shit right there, dude. People don't understand that. That's like back in college wrestling days when you're weighing in the same day you're fighting. That's wild. So, but it was awesome, man. I went down there. I took care of business. I got a belt out of it. I got a quality win against a guy that had I think it was 12 or 13 professional wins. He had been on he was 5 out of 6 wins out of his last fights, and he was a quality dude, man. I went down there and took care of him like it was nobody's business. Didn't take no damage, and I got right back to training, and that's how it's supposed to be. And it catapulted me in the rankings, and it really put people on notice that I can put people away. And it was nice to get back to my finishing ways. If people didn't know, I'm 11-2 now, but 9 of my 11 wins are by finish. And I got back to my finishing ways, and it was nice. It was a nice switch up, and I look to continue the momentum in the WXC Steel.
Now, you'll be taking on Joe Elmore. He's a veteran of over 20 fights so far in his career. Just kind of looking over the type of career he's had, win or lose, he seems like a guy that just gets after it. That, you know, whether he gets finished or he's the one doing the finishing. Is that kind of what you like in an opponent, a guy that's definitely going to come after you?
So like what I want to point out about this, because I definitely plan on finishing him, because there's definitely a finish bonus. Thank you, Mike. And out of his, I think he's what, 13-10 or something like that. His out of his 10 losses, 9 of them are by decision. So when I go back and when I go to WXC in 2 weeks and I finish him, it's gonna be something that doesn't normally happen. People say that, oh, you know, he's 13-10, you know, blah blah blah. But when I finish him in the first or second round, people are gonna be like, wow, this dude's really got skills, and it's not a dude. I mean, nowadays people are taking fights that are like that are 6-4 or 5-4 or stuff like that, and they're having bad performances and they're losing, and that's what really messes you up. That's one thing that I can say about myself. It's been almost 2 years since my last loss, and I barely remember the feeling. If I think hard, I remember it, and it don't feel good. But I'm on a roll, man, and I'm keeping it going. And when people look at your resume and they see that you're putting away guys with 13 wins with a winning record, 12 wins with a winning record, without taking a punch, without breaking a sweat, that's what speaks about your work ethic. That's what speaks about your training. That means that you're not just taking easy fights and going in there for the easy, you know, like grind it out and I take them down and I hold them down. When I went in there, I finished that guy and I got out the cage without a scratch. It was a 5-round fight. I got out there without a scratch in the second round, a minute in. That shows that I'm growing as a fighter. That shows that I'm still looking for the finish against a fighter that I could just take down and do the same thing I did to Dustin, but probably get away with it as a finish later in the rounds because he wasn't as a quality opponent as Dustin. But I'm looking for the finish in every single fight because I know that that's your ticket to the big show.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a guy I just looked up. He hasn't been finished in 7 years, so if you were able to accomplish that, that'd definitely be a big feather in your cap.
100%. I mean, but you gotta. Well, if I don't know if Joe's on here. I don't know if they got Facebook down in the boondocks where he's from, but you might have to slow your talking down so that he can understand it. Okay. Or you might have to give him a shot of bourbon so he can understand you too. I don't know how they work down there, but all I'm saying is that he's coming to the north and he's about to get a north ass whooping. That's all I can say.
Now, obviously you're not going to give away your game plan. I don't expect any fighter to give away him, but what can fans expect when you step inside the WXC Steel once again against Mr. Elmore?
Fans can expect this. I know, and everybody in the state knows, that people say, Pretty Boy's got the ground game. Pretty Boy's got the wins. Pretty Boy's got the submissions. But people don't think Pretty Boy's got the stand-up. And I know, I always say, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to pow and chapow. But I'm really planning. I know that people are waiting on a KO. I know that. I've got 6 submissions and I've got 3 TKOs. But I'm missing that one big ticket, slap you in the noggin and watch you fall to the ground and not have to punch you again, knockout. And I think that that's what Dana's looking for. I think that's what the UFC's looking for. And I think that that's what I'm looking for in this next fight. I plan on going out there and making a statement, grabbing the microphone and thanking Mike and thanking the fans and saying, hey, who says that Pretty Boy don't have hands now? That's my plan.
All right, is there anything you would like to say to Joe? Any words, any more trash talk besides the bourbon stuff, Troy?
Joe, all I got to say is bring your best slacks. Don't bring your muddy boots. Don't bring no gator skins. Don't bring no overalls. You come into Michigan, man. We're going to be by Detroit, all right? Just bring your nice clothes. Bring a nice bottle of Tennessee whiskey if that's what you like, because you might need it to ice your face afterwards. But all I gotta say is I got a new little hairdo going. I know you see it; it's looking nice. Well, I'm gonna keep the hat on it because the braids and the cut is coming. I know people wait for the haircut. Woo! The people wait for the haircut. Yup, that's where it comes from. But what I gotta say to Joe is, man, is I hope that you punch faster than the knockout on the highlight reel. Because I'm not going to stick my chin out on a stick like a chicken like this. I'm going to dodge and weave and whop and kick you in the face And I'm gonna be there when you wake up, man. And we're gonna shake hands afterwards, and we can maybe take a shot together. But that's what I got to say to Joe, man. You coming to fight a real fighter that's plans on making a living off this for a very long time. That this is not a game. This is not a joke. This is my entire life. I'm 26 years old. This is my 32nd fight. I'm a 5-year veteran of this. If right out there, I know you can't really see it, but that's Michigan State University. And I wrestled here for 5 years, and I'm a world-class athlete. And it's only a matter of time before I'm on the big stage. And I'm coming there prepared, as usual. This fight's on 20 days' notice, guys. 20 days' notice. You know how scared I am about it? Not at all, because I always train. I'm always in shape. I'm always ready. This is my life. This is not a joke. So I know that he might have had to slap up a couple tumbleweeds off his shoulder to get out of his fucking shack, but I'm going to be there ready in some nice, fresh clothes, looking real good. So I hope that he's ready for the event that he's coming to.
Well, Mike just passed along a little. He's my producer today. He passed along a promo that said that Joe is coming for the KO. That's what he told me to tell you.
You damn right, because he ain't got no other shot. What else he gonna do? Take me down and submit me? Stand on the outside and outstrike me? He's looking for that big looping something that's never gonna find a home, because he's gonna be on his back with his eyes with an X over him before he can even say anything. So I hope that that everyone's ready for a big show, because I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I think that this is going to be my last fight outside the UFC. My rankings are skyrocketing. I'm 11-2 on a 5-fight win streak, 9 finishes. What more can you ask for besides one more beautiful KO in the WXC Steel before Dana calls you? I mean, what else can you ask? 12-2, 6-fight win streak. There's nothing more that you can do at that point besides sit and wait for a phone call. So that's why I took this fight on 20 days' notice. It made sense. I'm a smart man. I'm intelligent. I take smart fights. I do smart things. And I'm about money. And I'm going to make some money. And I'm going to get a great KO. And I'm going to add to my record. I'm going to sit back in my comfy chair in my beautiful clothes and my nice-looking things. And I'm going to wait for Dana to call. And I'm going to continue the legacy of what is Michigan MMA.
All right. Any shout-outs and thank yous and sponsors and anything you'd like to say before we let you go, Troy?
I want to thank Mercy Lago MMA. I want to thank Michigan Top Team. And I want to thank Ink Therapy in Lansing, Michigan. I also want to thank my friend Joshua Bell, who came through with a big camp attribution. And I want to thank myself for fucking working hard every day when no one's got your back. That's what I want to thank. That's what I want to thank my damn self for being who the fuck you are and working hard and believing in yourself, because that's really who it is. And I want to thank Joaquin, because he's always got my back too. And that's about it, man. I'm excited. I'm not nervous. I am excited. I'm excited for everything. I'm excited for the weigh-ins. I'm excited to flex on him when he shows up all not fresh and me looking good. I can't wait. I just can't wait. It's going to be one of the best weigh-in picks. I low-key want to take a weigh-in pick with the clothes and after the clothes, like crusty versus fresh, dripping versus dry. But you know, I'm excited, man. I can't wait. I'm excited for everything that's going to entail with this fight. And thank you for the interview. Thank you, Mike, for the last minute, the push. And I know it's always hard. You know, it always is. But I'm coming to put on a show, man, and I'm excited. This is going to be a great card. I think the co-main and the main are going to be great fights. I think the whole card looks amazing. I love the arena. I love the organization that I'm fighting for, and I appreciate you doing this interview. But hey, man, we coming to take over, baby.
All right, Troy. He is Troy Lamson taking on Joe Elmore at WXC 73 Friday, August 3rd. Thanks for coming on. Thanks, Mondo, too. We'll see you guys next Friday.
Of course.
All right. We'll see you guys.
All right, y'all.
Hi, my name is Jim Graham, doing another series of interviews for WXC 73 Relentless. On the phone, joining me right now is Joe Elmore. He's going to be battling Troy Lamson at 155 pounds. And Joe, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you, man?
I'm doing all right. Now, of course, Joe, you are a veteran of over 20 professional fights. You have a little more experience than your opponent here in Troy Lamson. What do you think that experience will do for you in a matchup like this?
Man, you know, I've ran across everything. You know, I watched his interview and he kind of joked around and laughed and said, what's he gonna do? Take me down and submit me? Maybe, you know what I'm saying? I've been against some world-class wrestlers. I fought Jordan Rinaldi, man. He's a black belt under Sergio Pena, world-class wrestler. So, I mean, it's nothing I haven't faced before. I fought Diego Saraiva for my 4th pro fight, and that was his fight right out of the UFC, fighting Dan Henderson. I mean, I've fought great guys in the beginning of my career before I was a well-versed martial artist in everything that I am now, man. So he's going to have trouble because he's not going to find that I'm one-dimensional in anything. If wrestling is beating my boxing, then I'm going to go to my kickboxing. If kickboxing ain't working, I've got a black belt in Taekwondo. If that don't work, I went to state championships all 4 years in high school. I've wrestled for the past 24 years of my life. I'm a wrestler too, man. Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I do black belt submission only tournaments. I mean, I'm well versed, and I'm going to bring every aspect of every game, and he's not going to know what to expect. So it's going to help me 100%.
Now, of course, like you said, you fought in some great guys over the course of your career. How do you feel about, and obviously many different organizations as well, so how do you feel about coming up here to Michigan and fighting for Warrior Extreme Cage Fighting?
I'm excited, man. I actually got family in Lansing. I got a lot of friends. One of my boxing coaches is from Detroit. I got my family from Chicago and Gary, Indiana coming in. I got about 40 people. They're going to be there watching me fight. I got a local rapper, the Goon Squad from Detroit, Michigan, from the 313, actually made me a rap song, gonna walk out. So I got a lot of love and support up there, man, from a lot of people and stuff. You know, I'm a coach and I teach. I'm not gonna say what kind of seminars I teach because I don't want them to know what I'm real good at, but I teach seminars and travel and stuff. So it's nice to get out and see my friends and family and kind of surprise them with a little local support up there too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. Now, you had mentioned that you are a black belt in Taekwondo. Do you hold any other ranks in any other martial arts?
Oh yeah, man. I got a brown belt in Hapkido. I'm a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which I have been for 7 years. I was a blue belt for 7.5 years. I focused on MMA. Haven't put that gi on in a while,
Right.
but I've studied Kempo and all martial arts, man. I was a gymnast for 12 years of my life when I was a kid. I won gold gloves back in 1997. I'm old, man, so I did boxing back in the day. Everything, dude. I was a martial artist growing up my whole life.
That's awesome. Now, of course, you haven't fought since October of last year. So obviously, it's now July of the next year, 2018. So you definitely got to be itching for a fight because you're a guy that's been pretty active since you started your pro career.
Well, I mean, yeah, kind of. But I fought a pro boxing match for Evander Holyfield at Queen's Theater in March too.
Okay.
So I wasn't active in MMA, but I took a pro boxing fight for Holyfield Promotions up in New York. I took a pancration fight as well, which is not MMA, but it's worse because we had an option of wearing gloves or not wearing gloves. Kicks to the groin were legal. I just won one of those fights with a second round finish. So, I mean, I've been pretty active, man. I've done some submission only tournaments. So I've been fighting, just kind of let my body heal up from the total MMA, man, and taking a little bit of break to refocus on my training and healing my body too. So
For sure. Now, where did the pancration match take place? Was that here in the U.S.?
Crestview, Florida. So I fought for a friend of mine who actually named me the Hitman down there, and I fought a pancration fight. So
Okay. I was gonna say I didn't know too many places in the U.S. were a student, but the once you said Florida, I was like, well, go figure, right?
yeah, yeah.
I think they
They have
just
a few
about anything
commissions
go down there, right?
Well, I mean, it depends what commission you're under, I guess.
Yeah, I would say them, and it seems like Texas also doesn't seem to care a lot about what goes on as much.
Yeah, well, I think there's a few of them that say they care that might not either. So, you know.
Now, you mentioned that boxing match back in March. How many boxing matches have you done as your career as a pro?
I've only done one professional boxing fight. You know, I did amateur boxing a lot. I had like 20 matches when I was younger. But I was real honestly, I was such a great grappler, man, and stuff. I just liked the fighting, the grappling, and the whole thing. And MMA took off, and boxing kind of took a back burner for a while. So I focused on all of it. You know what I mean? And I just took the boxing fight because I trained with some world class boxers down here, and man, I'll be dropping some of the boxers at the gym all the time with my hands, and I had an opportunity to make a lot of money for Evander Holyfield down there. They flew us down there, kept us for a week. We had drivers, God, to give us food every day. It was like being in the UFC. It was probably more money than I've ever made fighting MMA, to be honest with you. And yeah, it was just a great opportunity, man. And I went against a guy who's I think had 60 wins and 1 loss his whole career so far. So
Wow, that's pretty cool. So what was it like meeting the real deal Holyfield?
oh man, actually, my gym works with him down here
Okay.
in Atlanta. It was the second time he came to my main event down here for the NFC,
Okay.
and got to hang out and talk because my gym, we have X3 Sports, X3 Foundation. I'm one of the volunteer coaches, and we bring kids in from like schools that really can't afford training and stuff. We actually have a van that picks them up and brings them to our gym. We have 4 locations in 30 miles in Atlanta and the surrounding cities, and we pick these kids up and we let them work with our black belts, our boxing coaches, our Muay Thai, whatever martial arts they want, and we have a lot of people that help us make that possible around here, so we can get those kids and kind of give them something to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. Now, what would you say kind of got you into doing like martial arts? Obviously, you mentioned that you wrestled through high school, you did Golden Gloves boxing, but was there any one thing that kind of spurred your interest in into this sport?
Okay, so my 3 idols really back in the day were Mike Tyson. Before I knew, well, Chuck Liddell's one of my favorite of all time, but Mike Tyson, Dan Gables, and Hoist Gracie. Hoist Gracie being who he was, and showing that littler guys could beat up anybody in the world with that kind of technique and that grappling. I mean, I'm hyper powerful, excited, energetic guy all the time, man. So the grappling aspect I love a lot because it helps me calm. It goes along with a lot of the things in that. But I like the striking too, man. Me and my friends, I was a little bit country. Troy's got one thing right, man. We used to put on boxing gloves and just kick the shit out of each other in the backyard for fun because we were friends. So I like fighting in general, man. The grappling, because it can slow me down. It's the one aspect where the slower you are, the better you are. And then at the same time, it's like that big tidal wave, riding it and surfing it, man. Boxing and striking, it's just the fury. So all of it, man. I can't pick, man. I love all martial arts. Bruce Lee said, "Be the glass, don't be the glass, be the water." So that's martial arts. It's the water, man. All of it, all of it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Now, obviously, looking at this fight here, as I mentioned in the introduction, you are taking on Troy Lamson. What do you think about Troy Lamson's game in your preparation here for this match?
Oh, hope it's better than his hair. Man. No, I honestly, man, I can say I don't like the kid. I hope it's a show and he's really not as big of a prick as he seems. But he talks about how pretty he is and stuff like that. But I know he's a great wrestler, man. I as much as I'd like to just say he's a piece of crap and whatever, I'm gonna go out there and beat him up. I gotta respect his wrestling, but I know what he's gonna be good at, and I know he's not gonna be better than me at. And he ain't gonna be more powerful than me. He ain't gonna hit harder than me, and he sure as hell ain't gonna be smart of him to try to go out there and knock me out, no matter how much $200 bonus. Hell, I'll add $200 more if he knocks me out. I've never been knocked down in 40 fights. So, I mean, I'm going to respect his wrestling. I prepared for him. I got a 2-time All-American from Notre Dame down here with me, who I've been slamming on his head, wrestling back and forth every day. Some world-class grapplers that train at my gym. I'm ready, man. I just I respect him, but I know, like I said, I know he's a great wrestler. But there's nothing else that I haven't faced already that I know I can handle, and there is nobody in my camp. I ain't prepared for this guy, so whatever he does, I'm gonna stuff it and make it hard on him.
Now, obviously, if you follow rankings and stuff, according to Tapology, he's one of the top fighters in the state of Michigan.
Number 6 at 70 and number 8 at 55 in the U.S.
Number
right
8
now.
in the whole country, number 1 in the state, number 5
Not
in the
long.
Midwest, at least updated as of a couple days ago. So
Yeah.
what would a win over him, mean to you in your career?
I mean, it'd be great, man, to be back in the top 10 again. I fought with some injuries, dude. But people don't know about me. I won Georgia MMA 2017, 2018. Georgia toughest fighter out of 1,000 fighters here. They voted me the toughest fighter because I went down to Canada, fought a world title fight on 3 days' notice, collapsed my lung, did not know I collapsed my lung, flew home, had emergency surgery, had a tube in my chest. I had a fight for 6 weeks later. I trained with the tube in my chest for 3 weeks, took the tube out of my chest 7 days later, fought against Brandon Logano. So there's been some losses that were close decisions on there on my record that's very deceiving too, that I fought with a week with a tube out of my chest. I had surgery. I fought 3 weeks before I had surgery. I'm not going to name what I had surgery on because it's perfect and healed up good too, ready to use as a weapon. But yeah, man, I don't I think that there's just nothing, like I said, there's nothing he can do that I ain't seen, and I'm ready.
Now, he's never been stopped by knockout. He was submitted once out of his 2 losses. The other one was a decision. Do you think you might be the first one to knock him out?
I could be, man. They call my right hand Henderson and lefty Liddell. I've got a head kick knockout, a left hook knockout, a right uppercut knockout, a body kick knockout, a body punch knockout. He ain't never been hit by somebody as hard as me. I'm 155 pounds and I bench 350 pounds and I don't lift weights. That is natural. That's the one thing country that stuck with me. I'm a powerful dude and I will hit anybody with one punch and kill them. And I'm not loopy punching. Sometimes he thinks I'm a loopy puncher and I'm a brawler. I do have fun when I fight. And that's why, I'm willing to risk that flying armbar, that flying omoplata, that flying knee. I like when people get excited, but not for him, man. He ain't gonna get in my head and let me overstrike him. I'm finna box him apart, pick him apart, and I'm gonna be the first person to sleep him. I'm gonna sleep him. Promise you.
Now, our owner, Mike Pedinelli, he wanted me to pass this along to you. He said that you're a breath of fresh air and a true martial artist.
Thank you, man. No, he's been great, man. Easy to work with, easy to deal with, and man, this is great. I'm excited to come up there, and everything I've seen through his shows and productions have been wonderful. My wife is my manager and one of my corners. We're super professional with everything we do. Like I said, man, I'm up teaching cardio kickboxing class 6 a.m. 5 days a week. I work at the gym, so my job is to do this every single day. So it's awesome to get that respect back and know that our hard work's appreciated, because we try to get everything there, our medicals done, and be all interviews and all responses, and get everything done as fast as we can. And that's part of it. It makes my fight easier because I've got everything done and prepared with these promoters and the blood work, and they're not stressing me and happy. It makes my fight easier because I ain't worried about nothing but beating up Troy right now.
Right. Now, before we let you go, I got just a few more questions here. What should fans expect from your fight come this Friday in Southgate, Michigan?
Blood and guts, baby. I'm a warrior. I have fun fighting. I don't feel pain, and I hope everybody comes ready to watch a war, because, hey, look, I fought Stephen Ledbetter, and even if this guy's good enough to hold me down, I put 81 staples in his head. He fought WEC. His next fight was me, and that was his last fight. He put me on my ground and held me down, but I peeled his face off with my elbows. So I'm going to bring blood, I'm going to bring guts, I'm going to bring excitement, and then when we're done, like Troy said, we can have a shot together. I have nothing personal against him whatsoever, except for he's in the top 10 in the U.S., and that's my spot.
Any other words you'd like to say to Mr. Lamson before Friday?
You better quit worrying about being pretty, because I'm coming for you, and good luck, man. I hope I don't hurt you.
All right.
Have fun.
Any other shout outs you'd like to pass along? Any sponsors?
Yeah, man.
Where to follow you on
shout out
media?
313 Shout out to the 313. Shout out to I Can Spark, man. The Goon Squad. IRG, one of my big sponsors, man. Matt Sword, one of my original training partners. He's got a successful business down here. He's sponsoring the whole show, the Blue Corner, actually. Innovative Aquatics, one of my big sponsors down here. He's really made it possible for me to take off this whole week, go train with some of the Michigan gyms have invited me down there to train because they don't like Troy's ass either. And so they're going to let me come and help me game plan with them at their gym and let me be at home up there. So thank y'all. And X3 Sports, one of the greatest gyms in the Southeast in the Podunk, where Troy thinks these redneck mudslingers are, with Bruno Verzada and all my other training partners and guys like that, man. Thank y'all so much for putting me through hell and making the fight easy.
Is there anywhere fans can follow you on social media, Joe?
On Instagram, Joe Hitman Elmore or Joe Hitman 187, and on Facebook, you can follow me. But I've got my fan page, Joe Hitman Elmore.
All right, he is Joe Elmore taking on Troy Lamson at 155 pounds this Friday night, Southgate, Michigan. People, WXC 73 Relentless. And Joe, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Coming, Troy boy.
I look forward to your fight on Friday, man.
Hitman, remember that, boy. Adios, brother.
All right, we'll see you, Joe. Have a good one.